Mind holding it on me? Okay, great. All right, the purpose of this survey is to examine why sexual assault, rape, molestation is traumatic and the survivor's process toward recovery. The significance of this study is to shed light on the effects that sexual assault, molestation, and rape have on individuals, male and female. Okay, so my first question is, have you ever been a victim of rape, molestation, or assault?
Yes.
Okay. And if yes, did you drop out of school at all?
No.
Okay. And were you forced to relocate to another area, city, school, etc.?
No.
No. Okay. And was it by a brother, sister, relative, or person, a stranger you didn't know?
A relative.
A relative.
With my grandfather.
Okay, it was the consistency. That's what we're talking about. Those patterns, the same thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, was it morning, noon, night, midnight, graveyard time?
Well, I was a child.
Okay.
So I was like about, I don't know, 7, 6 years old.
Okay.
So if you ask me, it might have been throughout the day.
Okay. Okay.
It was the day. I don't.
Okay. All right. And how did you attempt to heal? Have you ever engaged in therapy, counseling, a pastor, a dear friend? You know what I mean? What was your method of approach toward healing? God, prayer?
Yeah, it was definitely God. Because if you think about it, I was just 7 years old. What do I know about processing
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and healing and
Yes.
all
Okay.
that?
Okay. And then, did you ever feel like you were to blame? Did you feel guilty? Were you too young?
Not now,
Okay.
but at that time, I felt guilty.
Okay.
I felt like, was I doing something that caused it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember feeling that back then. Not now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it wasn't my fault.
Right.
But
that's what we want.
I know it wasn't my fault.
Right.
But at that time, I remembered. I'm like, maybe it's the way I dress, and I was just a little girl. Since he was my grandfather, I never said anything. And I remember every time he was over, I would find myself, make sure I was wearing pants, making sure I was always wearing jackets, loose clothes, nothing that showed my skin.
Nothing revealing.
Nothing. And I was just a little kid.
Smart girl.
I was just a little kid.
That's wise. Very wise. How do you or did you feel about confronting the individual, the person?
I never did.
Never.
Well, confronting them and why did you do this or you didn't do this, I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But that first incident, it probably happened once or twice, and I remember telling him, don't. Ever since then, I remember defending myself and don't ever touch me. If not, I'm gonna tell my mom. I'm gonna scream and I'm gonna tell my mom. So I learned to defend myself in that way, But then again, I never told my parents till I was 17 years old.
But he backed off. Did he back off?
He always was there. He was always there. He always tried.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I know that's a scar that we live with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the healing takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It for me, it's been like 15 years ago. But and I'm making lemonade. I always say I'm making lemonade out of the lemon that was thrown at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel that I can help people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it affects us all. It stifles us. It debilitates us through the normal processing of growth and development. You see?
The part where I was a little bit more was, I think even not now, because this process actually helped me a lot. But I had a certain resentment towards my mom, which was her dad. And the fact that I wasn't able to tell her, I didn't feel comfortable to tell her nor my dad. I think it's because it's her dad. I had a certain resentment towards her.
Sure. I have another question for you. Has this incident made you at any time feel a little bit more interested, curious about sex or promiscuous in any way?
No.
It made you feel isolated, you want your own body?
Yeah, I'm very overprotective of my body. Yeah, definitely. It. I've been. It's that I do know that it's. I can't choose anybody. Like I feel. It's very easy for me to feel that I'm being
Violated.
Because if a person that I'm a partner or somebody I'm with and touching me and touch me a certain way, I feel like I'm being violated. It's like, don't do that. I feel violated.
I understand.
Yeah. So
we know. I always say, very often, we know the feeling of true love. We know if a person cares and if it's nurturing versus if it's just we know the touch. We do. We, as women, we're very, very sensitive, so we know. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Has this incident that has been so traumatic changed your outlook on sexual activity, period, in general, intensely?
No, it has. It hasn't. I think. I mean, that is something natural, and it's done with the person you love, and that I do know. I am very, like I said, careful, and also that I don't feel violated. That's very important to me. It's like if a person, and it does affect my relationship if I feel a certain touch, I feel violated, because right away I start backing away. It's like, I can't do it. Even if I would want to get close to this person, I couldn't.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a distinct, isn't it? It's a radar light, a building radar, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you think it has taken you or may take you to like completely recover? I'm reading in my research that some people never recover. They're debilitated and in a fetal position for the rest of their lives because they do not have a support system at all. So that's kind of scary to know that happens to that degree.
Well, luckily, even though I was never able to open up to my mom, my dad, but I think it was more me being afraid of being blamed since I was a child. Because I think I was able to recover. I am the person I am now because of them. And my brothers and my sister. I had a really good support. Plus, they're really religious also in God. To me, that also helped me. Even though that's something I carry inside of me. And I never really said anything about it. I think I chose to block it out. I don't think you ever forget it. And I think it's something that even if you remember, it still hurts. And you see the damage that it cost you. And you see the damage. It's kind of like, I see how it affects my relationships, or how am I more careful about men, or how am I supposed to trust a person when my own grandfather was at my own house?
Exactly.
So I really don't think you do recover because you learn, you move along, and you realize there's better things in life than this person. But then again, it's always that question.
Have you enrolled in any type of self-defense classes?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And that's something, definitely, that's something I mean, I realize I would be really interested in self-defense. I think I've heard so much about it now that I think it would be really great. I also do see I have 2 daughters of my own.
Wow. What are their ages?
10 and 5. And I'm not overprotective, but I always have this communication. I explain to them, nobody's supposed to touch you. I give them that piece, like, you make sure these are your private parts, something that they didn't do with me. And it wasn't because my parents were not doing the right thing or they didn't educate me right, but they didn't. I think it's because that wasn't never even supposed to happen according to them, right? So they didn't know any better, I want to think. And that's something I do with my daughters. Nobody touches you, nobody violates you, and if something like that ever happens, you come to me right away, and it's something wrong. That's the change that I want to do in them. And I'm not overprotective, like I said, like even with my dad, or because even that, crosses my line. You see, there's a damage that causes you, and you know that it's there, but then again, I'm not going to let it control me.
Right. That's very well. Have you ever had any physical threats by him?
He passed away.
You know what I mean? Okay.
He passed away. He was very old
at
that time. So No, I mean, no. I just remember him, at that time, he would always want to bribe me. Even when I was older, he would want to bribe me. I'll give you this or I'll give you that. Just come, come here, kind of a thing. Maybe the first time I fell into it because I was a little girl, 6 years old.
Sure. What do you know? What did kids know?
I didn't even know. What was, I had no idea. After that.
You knew.
Yeah.
Do you think it is important to be educated and to educate others about sexual awareness, rape, what it is, molestation, what it is, assault, what it is?
Definitely. But I guess because of my experience, I feel it's so important for you to teach that to your kids because a lot of the cases, a lot of the kids, I think it's important to educate, especially the kids.
Yes.
As they're young.
Oh, yes.
Because a lot of it, it does happen out in the street, unfortunately, that a stranger comes and does this to you. But a lot of it, the person is in your household.
Yeah. And it's consistent patterns what I'm hearing a lot.
And it's very sad. And it's very sad that your home is supposed to be a safe place.
Right.
It's a safe place for you, and you're being a child, and you can't even be safe in your own home. That's not. I think that's where the main education has to start.
In the home.
In the home, and when you're a little kid.
I agree. Wholeheartedly. Has anyone suggested dance, poetry, exercise, any type of activities to be a part of the healing process?
No. Again, I was a little girl. Yeah. I didn't even talk to anybody or said anything. Now, I did go to therapy eventually, about 2 years ago.
Good.
But it was something done because I felt like I needed closure in many of the things.
Sure, absolutely. I understand.
Yeah.
I went to counseling too, so I understand. Even if it's not right then, that to bring about that closure. Closure is definitely needed. Has this experience made you a stronger person?
Definitely. Once you overcome it and you don't let it control you.
Right. Like the way you put that, you don't let it control you.
Because it's an anger. It's an anger and it's a sadness and it's a violation feeling.
Right.
If you let that overpower you and you have no control over your actions and you start acting upon it, then that's when you're letting that damage you even more.
Right.
But if you don't let it, you don't let that happen, that feeling overpower you, it's a learning experience, something that makes you stronger, something you could teach other people about. My kids, for example.
Sure. Would you then be interested in becoming an advocate, a therapist, a psychologist, physician, bring about awareness, work in the health field as a professional as a result of what has happened to you? What do you bring? What could you, if you should or considered it, bring to the table?
Definitely. It's a horrible experience.
Sure, absolutely.
You want to help other people, and I do work with kids. I do work with kids, and I'm a home visitor, and I'm very close to the families, and I work very close to with the moms, the dads, and the babies.
Awesome.
So, if you think about it,
you're doing it anyway. Yeah. Caregiver.
Yes.
Awesome.
I do it.
Okay. The feeling, I didn't ask this question. The feeling of cleanness or dirtiness. I know for me, when you shower, I felt like a feeling like that. It's like soap can't take that feeling away. Do you know what I mean? Can you relate to me on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's like,
And did the ideal of suicide or the thought of suicide ever cross your mind anytime during your life?
No.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate you taking your time and to help me with this survey.
Thank you.
And it's going to be a help to a lot of people.
I really hope so.